Hi. Okay, so a friend asked me, I don't know what's up with my chair. Yeah, so I need to hide the wires over here. Maybe with a sticker or a banner. It's an eyesore. Okay, so there's a cat. There's a cat right. See, left is right and right is left with this thing, so it's a little confusing. Anyway, I wanted to happily announce it's not a sad thing. It's not sorrowful. It's not disappointing, at least not to me anyway. It's invigorating and liberating to know that I'm out. I mean, I'm out of this religion, hey. I was born into it. And from an early age, I've been in it. I've been indoctrinated. And I just recently have come out. So I'm explaining why I'm out and what led up to me being out. So here goes. Okay, I'm not going to sit here all night making videos. So I'm just going to say right now that I am out of the Jehovah. Okay, so I'm woken up to the organization. I'm woke in other ways, but I'm not here to talk about all the ways that I'm woke. Okay. Yeah, I'm a little off, but that's why you love me, right? That's why you love me. So this is for my friends who have been asking me why I'm no longer a Jehovah's Witness. And guess what? It's the Jehovah's Witnesses who don't ask why. They don't ask, why are you no longer a Jehovah's Witness? They just feel sad. They feel sorry. They say, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'll miss you. Oh, that's too bad. And then when I start explaining why, it's this really robotic response, I find. Just, okay, that's how you feel. Well, actually, I didn't just explain my feelings. I explained why I'm out of this religion, and I gave some really good reasons, and I dropped some truth bombs, and take it or leave it. But at least I know that that's the equivalent of planting seeds. So at the same time, my friends who are not in the religion are so curious as to how this all happened and are really interested and really care about where I'm at now, what's going on. They're happy for me because I'm happy. I had a couple witness friends express that they're happy if I'm happy. And I'm saying you're going to see a more happier me. With that being said, I know that there's going to be some disappointments. There's going to be some letdowns and some ups and downs. So I will be, I don't want to say the victim of shunning because I'm not going to see myself as a victim through any of this process. I already feel empowered just stepping away and seeing it for what it is from the outside. And I'm happy to celebrate my freedom being out. And I think part of the worldwide freedom rally was personally, it was celebrating my freedom, you know, demanding it in these other aspects also, but really feeling empowered and happy and free. And you know, it was my first demonstration, being a part of a protest, essentially, something that's a major no. It's a major stipulation, basically, to stay politically neutral. But that's why the Jehovah's Witnesses are told to be politically neutral, to have no part of the world, yet the organization itself is very much part of the world and has political ties. Probably still to the UN. They were part of the UN as an NGO, non-government organization, from 1992 to 2001, and then they got busted by the Guardian, awesome journalist who exposed them. And then when they were exposed, their excuses were lame, and excuses, right? As to why they were part of the wild beast. And so they said, oh, we just needed the library card, and we just needed to get to some information that normally would be hard to get to. But in fact, they have to sign up with the UN initiatives and protocols, and they have to be on board with their plans, their agenda, basically. So you see a lot of that now with their propaganda, with the JW's propaganda, all through 2020. And that's what started the whole conflict. I had this conflict for a whole year. And it started with the update number 4. It was soon after the pandemic started, which I call the plandemic. Take it or leave it. It is based on a plan. In fact, I think that maybe, and this is just a side note, going off subject, but I think that they brought in COVID so they could bring in the normal. And to hear a governing body say this, who's supposed to be one of Jehovah's, elitists. He's an elitist for Jehovah God, isn't he? A governing body member is Jesus's brothers, as they say. Does it say in the Bible that Jesus has brothers anointed? Sure, there's words tossed around about the anointed ones. But the governing body is, in fact, a group of people who run the Jehovah's Witness organization, and they are not inspired by God. And when they are inspired by the Word of God, they take that Word of God and they twist it, they translate it, and they revise it, and they say they're simplifying it, but in fact they're changing the meaning to a lot of scriptures to serve their narrative. So when it comes to going out in service full time, keeping track of those hours like you're an employee, having elders get a hold of you to see how you're doing out in the field ministry, what are your hours, it very much, as a publisher, unbaptized publisher, mind you, but a publisher, it feels like I'm just an employee, So to become Jesus's disciples, all that means is literally to become a Jehovah's Witness. It's the only way to preach the good news. They're the only religion preaching the good news, apparently. Spreading the word of the gospel. They actually claim that they're the only ones doing this. And it hasn't stretched across the globe to the ends of the earth or to all nations. It couldn't, because they're banned in so many countries in so many different places. So, they should die because of the government laws restricting the freedom of religion. All the people should just perish at Armageddon because they can't get a hold of this golden, knowledge, right? And they do, in fact, preach that they will be the only survivors at Armageddon, as much as they don't like to admit it. It's even in their publications. So they go over the scriptures that the meek will inherit the earth, and when they say that, they only think of themselves. In emergency situations, they only help themselves, each other, people of the same faith. They forbid you to go to other churches to get help with resources or food. Even shopping at Salvation Army might bother someone's spiritual conscience. All the holidays, just looking into it. When you're looking into the holidays and you're trying to find the answers, why don't I celebrate this? Why don't I celebrate that? What is it that we believe again? Let me go back to the publications. And then when I go back to them, it's like, oh, okay, that's why. As far as birthdays go, there was a couple people in the Bible that celebrated birthdays, and they weren't Christian. They weren't good people, and they kind of shined a bad light, and they weren't on God's good side. I still believe a lot of the Bible. It's just birthdays. That Caleb video with the cupcake threw me off for a loop, and I gotta say, that was a real big wake-up call, even though I was already out. I saw the Caleb and Sophia video with the cupcake, and that just made me want to celebrate birthdays. Literally, I'm gonna start celebrating birthdays after watching that.